So, how many of you wanted to ride a skateboard like Marty? How many of you wanted to drive the DeLorean like Marty? And how many of you wanted to have a girlfriend like Marty? Even in the short time that we got to see her in the first film, we got a pretty good idea of what a great girlfriend she was, right? She was there when Marty auditioned his band, she was there to encourage him when he was down, and she wrote some pretty nice notes every once in a while, too. Claudia Wells was the girl that brought Jennifer to life, a role that people to this day affectionately remember her for. I had a chance to sit down with her at an autograph convention this year to discuss the opportunity to be part of the iconic trilogy and what it all means to her now. Well, Claudia Wells, thank you so much for joining us today on Beyond the Screen.
It's my pleasure. I'm happy to.
Now, how did you first find out about Back to the Future, and how did everything fall into place for you as far as getting the role for Jennifer?
Well, I actually screen tested for the same producers and casting people for Young Sherlock Holmes, Gremlins, and Goonies.
Wow.
So by the time I auditioned for Back to the Future and I saw the same people in the room, I just said, hey, it's me again, and did about a 2-hour audition with Steven Spielberg and everyone. That was incredibly fun, and got the part. It was one audition.
So did you audition for the lead female in Gremlins? I'm trying to think of her name.
Phoebe Cates.
Phoebe Cates.
No, that was, Gremlins, Goonies, and Young Sherlock Holmes that I tested for.
Awesome.
During that same time period.
Well, you were just meant for Jennifer.
Yeah, absolutely. It was fate. It was my destiny.
That's right. It was your destiny. When you get the word out right, it's your destiny.
That's right.
Well, had you been involved in that first run? I mean, did you shoot scenes in that first run with Eric Stoltz?
No, they did a photo session with Eric and I as boyfriend-girlfriend pictures, because there was supposed to be a picture in his wallet. And then a pilot called Off the Rack with Ed Asner and Eileen Brennan that I had previously done got picked up to be, I think it was a fall TV series or a spring series replacement. But anyway, it got picked up and it was supposed to film at the same time as Back to the Future. And ABC wouldn't let me go, so I actually had to decline from being Jennifer in Back to the Future because my first commitment had been to the pilot and now series. They recast my role, and I did the 7 or 8 episodes of Off the Rack, and then they let go of Eric. The girl they had cast was too tall for Michael, according to a lot of people on set, so they let her go, rehired me, and I got to be Jennifer.
Wow.
Isn't that cool?
I didn't even know that there was a different Jennifer for Eric.
Well, only because my pilot had gotten picked up and I had to back out.
Wow.
Yeah.
This really was destiny.
Total destiny. So it was me and Eric, then the series, then Michael and I.
That's awesome.
Very
nice. Well, you and Michael J. Fox made a good couple on screen. How was your rapport and chemistry off screen?
Other than the kisses, it was exactly the same. I mean, he was just darling and positive and kind and energetic and easygoing and free-spirited. Just exactly who you think he is who he is.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Oh, yeah. His timing is unbelievably incredible. Yeah.
Well, you guys were really good together. You really were.
Thank you.
Can you talk a little bit about, after all of this, when you think of everything that had to fall into place and all the things that changed, can you talk a little bit about that first opportunity that you got to actually see the film?
Oh, yeah, I remember it like it was yesterday. It premiered in Westwood, I think it was July 3rd, 1985, and I was terrified because I'd never seen myself on the huge screen before. I'd been on television gads of times, lots and lots, but never 20 feet tall.
Yeah.
So I was very nervous. My most exciting moment was seeing my handwriting fill up the whole screen when they showed the back of the clock tower flyer, because that was actually my handwriting.
Awesome.
And to me, when your handwriting is on screen, you've hit it big.
That's right. You're official.
It was more than seeing my face. It was the handwriting that did it for me. It was just a really fun time, and then we had a great party afterwards, rap party, and they showed a reel of outtakes that was hysterical. And it was an exciting night. I wasn't quite as nervous once I saw that it was good.
And the audience reaction, I'm sure.
Yeah, I mean, I knew that the film was good. I'm just very critical of watching myself.
Sure.
It's difficult.
Not every actor gets that movie that everyone knows and that role that everyone remembers, and you kind of have both here.
We don't get a chance to see the whole movie, but we see you plenty enough to make that connection with you and associate you with the film. What does that mean to you personally, that so many people have that connection with you?
It's humbling and beautiful, and I'm honored. It's really a big deal that people are so kind and nice to me. Back to the Future fans are all awesome. They're always kind and respectful and sweet, and it seems that there's a moment in everyone's life that is so meaningful. Either their first date and now they're married, their first date was seeing the movie, or it was the first movie they ever saw, or a kid discovering it and being so excited about it now. So the fact that I got to be a part of that, amazing. I give all glory to God. I really do. I think his plans are so much greater than ours, and how he worked it all out for good is my blessing, really.
Understandable. Well, I think of the infamous scene when Marty is auditioning in front of Huey Lewis.
Yep.
Was Huey Lewis there? Did you get a chance to meet him and all?
He was there. I was raised in opera. I sang in opera growing up, so I didn't know much about rock and roll or R&B. Okay. I guess he would be rock and roll. So he was sitting in the makeup chair next to mine, and I said to my makeup artist, I go, "Who's the guy next to me?" "It's Huey Lewis." "Oh, is he in this today? What's he playing?" "Yeah, he's playing one of the board members." "Huh." And Michael was so excited walking around with an album that had people walking with a surfboard on it or something. And I'm like, "Mike, I don't get it." "Oh no, he's a great singer. He's great." I'm like,
by the way, he's doing songs for the soundtrack.
I discovered that later. So I knew nothing about anything. I just thought he was a really good actor.
Yeah.
And I knew he was in the music industry, but I'd never officially heard his music.
Are you familiar with a website called 80stees.com?
No.
There is a t-shirt on 80stees.com that looks like a fake, well, it looks like a band t-shirt, like for a band, for the Pinheads.
Nice.
And it says, "You're just too loud."
Nice.
Fellas, I'm afraid you're just too darn loud. Next, please.
I'll tell you a story. My audition, which was my one and only audition for Back to the Future, the guy auditioning for Marty, it was his 11th callback. He was in there the whole time with me, auditioning. He didn't obviously get the part, but he's the drummer in the band. For
for the Pinheads.
How's that for trivia?
That's pretty cool. We still got in.
Speaking of trivia, I'm a Trivial Pursuit question and answer. Who originally played Jennifer Parker in Back to the Future? And a girlfriend of mine in Arizona said, "I'll bet I'm the only one who knows that answer."
Well, there's going to be a lot of people who know the answer now, and they're going to be able to impress all their friends.
That's right.
So everybody listening, remember, Claudia's in Trivial Pursuit, and if you get that question, be prepared, okay? If you fail and you listen to this show, you're in trouble.
That's right.
I understand that you've had the opportunity, you're one of the few cast members who's had the opportunity to play Jennifer again in the Back to the Future video game. I bet that's something you would have imagined in a million years if you just a few months ago, maybe a few years ago.
Again, only God. I never thought I'd have an opportunity to be Jennifer again, actually be Jennifer again.
Yeah.
And I got to be Jennifer again. A little bit of a zany, out there, wacky Jennifer, but I'm a little bit of a zany, out there, wacky Claudia, so it worked out fine. Our two characters grew together, but I certainly enjoyed doing it.
Yeah.
I loved doing it, and just to be able to fall back into the role of Jennifer, other than having to use higher tone to my voice, because my voice is lower than it used to be when I was 18. But other than that, it was like old hat. It just totally clicked. Like a time machine. And seeing Chris when I was working, seeing him come in on set and hanging out with him, it was beautiful, just beautiful. Awesome. It was a really special time for me.
It's cool that they can do that sort of thing now. You know, a movie that just celebrated its 25th anniversary can still branch out in these other areas and kind of continue the story.
The Back to the Future franchise.
That's right, the franchise.
That's right.
Well, if you could get in the DeLorean right now and take a trip back somewhere, where would you go and why?
I'd actually stay just where I am. Really? I might drive it down the street, but I'd stay where I am.
Just drive a DeLorean?
Yeah, not really. I don't drive stick. But I love where my life is at right now. And the comfort I have in my own skin. I wouldn't change that for anything. And so I wouldn't go back to any other point in my life. I'd stay right here.
Right here?
Honestly.
I know that you've got a store that you own and operate now. Can you tell us a little bit about that and some other things you're involved in that we should know about?
Okay. Armani Wells. It's the greatest men's clothing store in the whole wide world.
Okay.
I opened it 21 years ago, and it is high-end clothing at discount prices for men. It's designer resale, so it's instead of $5,000 on a suit, you're paying $500. Instead of $2,000 on a suit, you're paying $200. It's Armani, Versace, Canali, Zegna, Prada, Gucci, Dolce, Varvatos. It's all the best, and I have jeans to tuxedos head to toe. So it's a one-stop shop. Our website is armaniwells.com, and my store is in Studio City, California, and I opened it 21 years ago.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Just recently celebrated that big 2-0 anniversary.
2-1 anniversary.
And 2-1 anniversary as well.
December 19th. 1991 I opened. December 19th, 2012 was 21 years. And I love my store every day like I did the first day I opened. It's really special. It's special. And I'm also very much involved in Kids in the Spotlight, which is a charity, nonprofit charity to help inner city kids and lots of foster kids they write and they direct and they star in their own short films. So it's a 12-week program that we bring to foster kids schools, and also the inner city schools.
They get a chance to be in the spotlight.
And they get a chance to be in the spotlight and know that they were made for good and know that they're special, powerful human beings, and what's happened to them is no fault of their own, and there's something that can come from that in a creative way. And actually, it's not true that we get professional directors and cameramen, but we teach them how to write and star in, and they cast it, and it's just beautiful. I'm also back to acting. I just did a movie called Starship Enterprise, and I was the commander of the starship.
Awesome.
Very, very commanding, tough woman. It was so much fun.
I bet that was fun.
And I was on The Mentalist, and I did a short film called Max, which is premiering next week in LA.
Okay.
And I'm open to whatever acting possibilities come my way. I still love it like I used to.
Awesome.
Wasn't sure I would, but discovered I do. The bug is still active and alive.
The fire is still there.
The fire has not gone out.
That's good to know.
Yeah.
Well, Claudia, thank you so much for talking with us today about Back to the Future. As a fan, like many of our listeners are, it was a real pleasure to talk to you and share some memories and find out what you're doing today. Thank you for being part of the program today.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me.